Hey YouTube, Shelko4 here. So today I'm going to do a quick video about the tools I used in association with my recent AR build. So let's talk straight away about some of the stuff I got off of eBay. I bought both of these blocks on eBay. This is the lower receiver block that you put in a vise. In hindsight, I probably really didn't even need this, and the reason is because most of my build was done with the thing sitting right in my lap. So I only really use this to tighten up the buffer tube, and you know, in hindsight, I think you could have jammed a piece of like 2x3 or something in that size up in the receiver well, and accomplish just the same thing, because you're not really torquing the hell out of that castle nut anyway. However, the upper receiver block was critical, and that's just because of how much is involved in putting on the barrel and the torquing and all that sort of stuff. So let me put those out of the way and bring something else into frame. The stuff I had to go out and purchase, I bought a watchmaker's hammer and pin punch set from Harbor Freight. I think this was about $6, and maybe this was $8. This was a little light as far as the head weight, but it did the job, obviously. The thing I didn't get involved in is those preset punch, or the pin drivers, and I didn't tape off anything. What I wound up doing was using the cardboard that came with my DPMS lower build kit. I used that as a shield, and I would put that down on the receiver and then whack at the pin. So, I mean, this is basically all I used as far as stuff that I had to go out and buy. To get all of that out of the way. Now, the other thing I used, which I think is pretty critical, is a pair of needle nose pliers. And I use those to act as, I put them in my delta ring, and I use them as a pair of snap ring pliers. So I put it in and opened it slightly, and was able to get the delta spring on the barrel. So that worked pretty easily. I didn't go out and buy a pair of snap ring pliers specifically for this project. The other thing is, I use this to hold the pin that holds the gas tube into the front gas tube block, because that pin is the smallest pin you're going to be working with, actually. And I don't know, you'd have to have like a 2-year-old's fingers to hold that thing in place. Other than that, I held it with this in one hand and whacked at it with the jeweler's hammer in the other hand. Now, the other thing I used was this piece of wood. Now, a lot of videos, people talk about these special blocks to hold the forward sight base in, and when you're tapping in the pin to hold the gas tube. I just supported the sight base on this, and accomplish the same thing. The other thing is, on the lower receiver, that back tang on the trigger flap, if you want to call it that. Trust me, if you're doing a build, you know what I'm talking about. They talk about supporting that so that you don't bust off one of the ears. And again, I just laid the lower receiver on this and used it to back up my whacking at the thing with that jeweler's hammer. Again, keep in mind that I did a lot of this sitting with the thing in my lap, so a little more close and personal. Now, the one thing that I really want to sort of talk at length about is, it's a little windy, so bear with me or my crap's going to go flying all over the joint. The armorer's wrench. So, yep, there goes crap flying all over the place. Anyway, so you got your torque wrench and you've got your armorer's wrench, and this is critical to time up the barrel nut. Now, I bought the torque wrench at Harbor Freight, bought the armorer's wrench on eBay, and that's that. I used this obviously in another project. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. Now, I don't know the physics of it, but I can tell you from working on my car and stuff in the past that when you attach the torque wrench to the armorer's wrench, you want the wrench positioned as an extension of the axis to which you are applying torque. And by that I mean I've seen a lot of guys, hang on, working with their torque wrench in this position. And I don't understand the physics of it, but I can tell you damn well from working on my car that the more you deviate from the axis of rotation like this, the more you change the amount of torque that you're applying to your pivot point there. So you don't want to do that. Have the torque wrench and what you're applying torque to in a straight like that, and that'll give you as accurate a reading as you're going to get. That's all I used. If you have any questions, oh, and I didn't get involved in blue taping up everything. Like I said, I just used a piece of cardboard, and I didn't scratch anything. It is what it is. Anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Otherwise, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Shelco 4 out.